We're just getting live right now. So thank you for hanging out. All right. Welcome in, everybody. This is our Wednesday night episode. We are back from Veterans Day, back into the week. Anthony's not here tonight because it is Wednesday. It's all right. He's hard at work, guys, getting us more traction for Altura, outreaching with people. We have some meetings set up later this week, so he's going to go push that vision forward on our behalf, as well as me hopping in some of those calls to help out and getting awareness spread for what this community actually is, why it's different from anything else that exists, and why you need to be part of it before the doors close as the last membership passport sells out. This is going to be the 1% club for our generation and much more than that. I can't talk about all the things that are going to be happening inside because part of the point is for it to remain secret. Just like any other society or club, I can't be 100% honest. I was going to say truthful. I can be truthful. I just can't be transparent about all the methods we're going to teach because there is value in being on the inside. I will say that. Having access to the resources, the knowledge, the market movements, all of that stuff in real time is why you need to set up your network now. And if you're not investing in your network, this is the easiest way to do so with a one-time fee that you can resell and set yourself up for life. So with that said, guys, join Altura. We're going to have all these tools coming out that you'll also get access to, like Nova, which is going to drop in the next week or two on the App Store. The AI tool that's going to compete with ChatGPT or Grok by actually telling you your insights and what you need to know about yourself. The brutal, honest truth as it deems necessary, helping you grow, get better, and flourish in the world through improvement. You guys can see I have my Aries device on. You can look into what that is. It's not anything, I'm not in a cult or anything, I promise. It's radiation blocking. It's, the devices, they just say don't put your phone in your pocket, right? All of those, waves that affect your sleep patterns, things like this. This helps absorb and deflect the wavelengths that are harmful to your brain. So I would seriously check out their company. It's a great product to invest in. But let's get into tonight's episode, which is episode 31. Tonight, we're talking about the execution tax. You might be thinking IRS code, what? Or what does this have to do with, my finances, XYZ? It does have something to do with it, but not in the way you think. This is a hidden leak that has a massive impact on your empire. And over the next 20 to 30 minutes, if you actually pay attention, you are going to walk away with a piece of knowledge that's on the inside of our Altura inner syndicate. If you were a paying member or something, you'd be given for free as part of the education and resources that you just won't get on the outside. And I'm going to leak some of the methods and secrets that you may need to know if you're trying to make it to the other side. Picture this. Lean back in your chair, close your eyes, do whatever you need to do. You're 22 years old. Maybe you are right now. $0 in savings. You open it up and see maybe a few bucks in your checking account. You don't really have any savings. You don't use it because you can't afford to. And you don't know what to do. One day you have what seems to be like the idea that could change everything. You open 5 tabs, which then becomes 8, becomes 10, 11, and you start taking action on this new business. You don't know where you're going, but the excitement is there and you're motivated to set it up and call yourself a business owner. 11 subscriptions happen because you sign up for services that, will help you along the journey and get you moving in the right direction. About 3 weeks pass. The hustle that was supposed to be overnight money is not turning out the way you thought it would. Selling to customers is harder than you thought. They don't really see the value of going with you over a competitor. You haven't refined your offer clear enough for people to understand it. And you also haven't done the reps for people to be aware of what you actually have to offer. You don't know how to explain your service clearly to yourself. And so you blame what's around you. Those 11 subscriptions and tabs become 11 excuses. And 90 days later, after 3 months, wasted time is what it seems. Tonight, I'm going to expose the silent assassin that's been draining $2,000, maybe even a month, from every single hustle that's truly committed to before it ever even starts. It's not money, it's not time, it is the execution task. Welcome in. I'm Caleb Schilke. This is the Ascended Podcast, an actual episode, unlike my last Wednesday. And let's get into it. Scene one, as if it were a movie, right? The screen goes black. You see text appear that says the crime scene, where a murder happened, where something tragic occurred. In this case, the victim number one is a 22-year-old freelancer, male, average height, decently in shape, wants $5,000 a month. They were taken out of existence by a few key factors. One, Canva, main suspect, $12 to $15 a month. Number two, ClickFunnels, $97 a month. Adobe, between $10 and $30 a month, could have been a factor. Notion, $30 a month. Zapier, $28 a month. ChatGPT, $20 a month. Total tax, at least $140 of poison was administered to this victim. Plus 17 hours in setup and use to try to think that you had control over it led to a shutdown of the victim's system. And within 1 month, the victim has deceased. That is you. 90% of side hustles die in 90 days. 90. Every day, 1% of the people who started the day you did drop out. And that caps at around 90 days. The 10% that didn't will usually last a few years. And 8 out of 10 of those businesses will also die. So 2 businesses, maybe, will succeed. Not from bad ideas, but because of the execution task. From Forrester 2025 is my source on this and where this term comes from. The screen goes black again. We shift to scene 2. The tax man comes. It's a black, stormy, dreary night. A mysterious figure wielding several weapons on their waist belt shows up. They are the inspector. They're on your side. They look at the deceased corpse, you, and they try to diagnose what's really going wrong. First, they say, well, we have this subtle cause, tool switching. I would say that runs you about $12 an hour in income that you would have gained, that would have kept you alive when this poison of subscriptions was administered. Secondly, prompt engineering. Knowing how to use ChatGPT, knowing how to use an AI, knowing what questions to ask, thinking you're not as smart as you think you are, did cost you $25 an hour, even though ChatGPT was only $20. The difference is your competition knows what to ask and you don't. And you refuse to get help. You refuse to get a mentor. You think you can do it all yourself. And you're unwilling to commit money, even though you know money is what sets you free. And you're not willing to use the cards on your Scrabble deck in the game to actually earn you points to win it. You'd rather hoard all your letters and let everyone else take up the space. That seems like your main victim. But then there's something else. Integration hell, $47 an hour. That might be our silent killer. The young entrepreneur, it seems like they were overtaken by this sweep of different tools that didn't speak to each other, didn't talk to one another. And with data stored in Google Drive, in Notion, in Gmail, in ChatGPT, conversations all over the place, disinterested leads and interested leads mixed together, and not a clear way to manage them, not sure of a system that will control the outcome. And you think that by just buying more subscriptions, by putting more money in, just like the gurus say, that this victim was going to help them survive, when in reality, they were drinking the same poison further. The shadowed man looks and says, the cause, $1,800 to $2,400 in potential wasted. One life, one way out, wasted at 22 years old. Because they put cash before revenue. You think you're learning. You guys think you're paying rent, right? To your own confusion. You think you have to take on more subscriptions, to pay for more things, to buy the courses that the gurus say to win. This leads us to scene 3. The screen goes black one more time. The cover up. The screen comes back on. It's now the masked figure looking at the screen, talking to you, the viewer. It's me. Just hustle harder. It comes from the person, the potential killer, who sells you a $97 course that basically was a ChatGPT generation. And you buy it because you're hungry for information. You're hungry for the answers, but you didn't want the same thing when you started. You waited. You waited till you got desperate, and then you bought the information. Do you see how that was the problem? When you're struggling to breathe, when you're struggling to survive in your business, you will do whatever is necessary to keep yourself from metaphorically dying. That becomes expensive information, which leads you to mentors like me, other coaches, which will help you, but will charge you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month. And if you don't have that money, or if you're not at the stage where that makes sense yet, like most people are, the business becomes the next victim. You need to stop believing these gurus. AI is a lie right now. ChatGPT does equal freedom. And I believe in the tool. I also believe in Grok, even though we're competing against them with Nova. But I will say that 87%, which is a fact, abandon ChatGPT in 30 days from paying for it because it's a search engine. It's not the dream lifesaver you thought it was. It is an information summarizer and regurgitator. When you go to dating advice from ChatGPT, it is not giving you the perfect solution. And 9 times out of 10, you're making it worse. Trust me, I've asked it for dating advice and it doesn't work. When you ask ChatGPT to come up with a business idea, 9 times out of 10, it's also going to fail because it's collecting information that it thinks is best, but it doesn't know you like another person does. Right? So it's like asking Wikipedia. It's like clicking on the first Wikipedia article to show up and thinking that that's the only source you should write your paper from. It's not correct. And it doesn't know you. It's just existing information. The problem is it's not an executor. It doesn't help you figure out what to do with the information. And even if it does, it doesn't have the context of your actual problems. Not only that, but the flaws. Because I could give you the perfect solution, but if you don't sleep enough hours each night, if you don't actually work as hard as you say you do, and I'm planning for that, it's not going to work. If everyone doesn't do their job, as my football coach in middle school and high school used to say, if every player doesn't go out there and block the defense, the ball is not going down the field. The tax isn't in the tools. It's the gaps between the tools. Do you understand what I'm saying? ChatGPT is a great tool. Notion is a great tool. But unless ChatGPT can write and store your data in Notion for you, which Zapier could sure help, but it's not easy to set up, you're not going to win because you don't know how to comprehend the information and pull it back as needed. And more importantly, what you're telling ChatGPT isn't getting translated specifically enough to apply as good as you need it to your situation. ChatGPT has to fill in gaps. It's not an expert at breaking down your patterns. And you think that it solves everything. So you put too much trust in it. And what happens is real world outcomes, your relationships, your friendships, your businesses depend on it. And you've given all your hope to something that you don't understand. and you're wondering why you're failing. For that, I will say you deserve that, but it's also not your fault for falling into the trap. That's the honest truth. So they tell you just grind harder, bro. But you don't see Elon Musk grinding harder, anymore. Once he made his first company, once he got Tesla off the ground, he didn't need to work as hard as he was. He just got smarter. The screen goes black one more time for the final scene of this display. On the screen shows the words, "The antidote." You have a negative tax engine out there, something that will not only deflect the effects of this poison in your system, but prevent you from letting it affect you in the future, preventing you from falling down the trap that you just need one more tool to set you free, that one more payment wall will be the answer. It's Altura, and it's free to join. There's no catch. Nova AI is a tool that we developed. It's very preliminary. It is early stage, and we've built this in a month or less. We've had to redesign it because we've had to work through several key errors to making it do its intended task, which is not to be like Grok or ChatGPT, which aren't giving you what you need, as I've just explained. You need a co-founder. The best way to get a co-founder is to meet one in person. Altura is LinkedIn on steroids for Gen Z and millennials who don't give a shit about half-assed achievement posts. It is a networking site for people trying to get new ventures that they're seeing trend on Instagram and YouTube and blowing up in the space with real winners and real people driving real cars, as much as you want to say they're rented because of it. Because there are winners out there, and you can't write off every success as a luck scheme, or you'll never learn. So you need to meet these people. And because you can't meet them, you are at the bias, you have the bias of writing them off as somebody who just cheated their way to success. You might do that with me too, except I'm not necessarily successful yet. I'm just a stage or two ahead of you guys. I'm not flex. I don't have a sports car. I don't have a supercar. I'm not as rich as I want to be yet. I'm still just figuring it out like you are. But I can say what I've learned is that you need people with answers one step ahead of you, because 4 to 8 steps doesn't really do it. You don't want to pay somebody that's at the top of the hill because they don't know how to climb over the rock you're currently on. They either don't remember because it was so long ago, Iman Kaji, Jordan Welch, Grant Cardone, Alex Hormozy, Luke Belmar, or secondly, they just don't care and really don't really have an actual answer to that problem because they didn't even really know about it. They just got lucky most of the time in their own way. And maybe they didn't even work on a business relevant to you. So you need somebody that's in the trench you are in. You could be across the battlefield and they could also be in a trench. But if that trench ain't connected to your trench, what the fuck is the point of paying them? Do you understand? It's not about being in the trenches. It's about knowing the map of the trench you personally are stuck in with gout and trench foot and bullets flying. So where do these people come from is my next question. And that should be your next question. Where do you find these people? You can go to LinkedIn. I've tried that. And I found 40-year-old professors that have never started a business. They just talk about business theory. They're fun for conversation. They're cool people to talk to. I would never start a company with them. Next, you go to Instagram and you say, I loved your story, bro. I can tell you're grinding. They're never going to respond to you because they're either too good or too egotistical to, or they just get too many of those DMs that you're not worth their time. Unless you are, which in that case, you're probably already getting DMs and you probably don't need this information. So where do you actually go? You either have two options. One, you go to in-person meetups. You go on meetup.com, you figure out where local entrepreneurs your age are having events. Or two, you create or find a deeper, less known place to find them. Right now, that's Altura. And it's going to be the next LinkedIn on steroids for Gen Z and millennials. It's a live chat. It's a networking hub. It's like Tinder for your business partner. Matchmaking, like Call of Duty, right? Finding somebody that has a skill set, a personality, Myers-Briggs type, which comes from Nova's conversations. Nova identifies that person's patterns. The AI system helps match them with you. That is something we're also building once Nova and our Altura website progresses. And you have the chance to be part of this early. Imagine literally being told, like Tinder, without even having to swipe, who your business partner should be based on the way you interact and what holes you need filled in communication, in logic, in thought processing. And not only that, but it helps you set up a call, get into a chat with that person, and gets you guys started on your business idea because you can talk to it. Imagine, imagine how easy that would be. Instead of you sitting here at a computer, typing to ChatGPT, trying to figure out what you even want to do. Let's be honest. I've started a lot of side hustles. Some of them have became businesses. And yes, I've sold businesses to investors. I've successfully exited. It is very lonely, among other things, if you don't have somebody on your team you can trust and that sees your vision. Even if you have people on your team, if they're not the actual, if they're not if they're not bro, if they're not your, if they're not somebody that gets it with you and genuinely is there for you in all of the hard times, you're not going to make it the way you think you are. You need somebody to complement you, just like a marriage, like a romantic partner. You need a friend, you need a business partner, you need a mentor, an ally, and they don't all have to be the same person, but you need those shoes filled with real human beings because an AI can never do that as advanced as it gets. If you want to make it, you need to find somebody who complements you. And you're not going to do that on LinkedIn. And as much as you think your ego can abide or get you along and you'll be good without it, it's not going to work. I'm sorry. You'll get to a point eventually where you have to take on help. That's why people go to Shark Tank, even though they're already making millions of dollars. So to meet these people, you have to, at some point, invest in the network. And I know most of you are saying, Altura sounds great, but I don't think I need it yet. What do you need? Because you clearly then might not know where you're going in your business. You don't know if the tools you're spending money on are the best for you. You might be paying $25 a month for Notion when you could pay $20 a month to not need Notion. You could pay $50 a month for Restream, like I'm using to stream our broadcast. But there might be a cheaper tool out for $15 a month that does the same thing, plus the $20 to be an Altura, and you got your money back. Because I guarantee you guys will start saving money, let alone working more efficiently, if you have people in a group that are actually dedicated to this. Okay. That's our pitch. Altura is the place. It's the one-stop shop. It is everything you need in one spot. And it is powered and is growing because of our tool Nova, which is our AI. And that is going to be better than Grok. It's going to be better than ChatGPT because it's actually giving you insights about you. As you talk to it, it tells you. I notice that you say, I don't know a lot. It notices that you say, I really want to get into this, but a lot. And here's why I think you're actually doing that. It's going to break it down like a psychologist and explain to you what your flaws are. The honest, brutal truth that a lot of times a friend has to give you, but you still need. It's going to walk you through and say, this is why I think this is happening. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's easier than a friend saying it because you're not going to get mad at ChatGPT as much. You can't throw anything at ChatGPT. And then it's going to give you tasks. What do you need to do to get out of this slump? If you can't focus because you have a dopamine addiction, and that's what I've painted out based on the things you say you like to do, well, these are the 3 things I want you to do before the end of today, which we'll put into your actual calendar that's also managed by Altura and Nova, your personal assistant. And this is what we got to get done. And yes, that links and will link to your Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, your Apple calendar, whatever you guys need. It's your personal executive assistant and mentor in one spot. If you're an Altura member, It's yours as a free gift. And if you just want to pay for that, it's going to drop on the App Store as a separate application very soon from being on our website. Okay. So Altura is the place that becomes a negative tax engine because instead of spending the money, you learn how to use it more appropriately. And that is half of survival. A lot of these entrepreneurs don't say, it's not that I did X, Y, Z. It's that I didn't do A, B, C that was toxic for me. I didn't, use Calendly, right, instead of ClickFunnels, right? And it just had a one-page thing. Instead of spending $100 a month, I spent 12, right? Because it works. And this is how I got it to work. Those are the answers that you don't get unless you pay money to do it, or you invest so much of your time that you approach 28, 30, 35, and you still haven't gotten off the ground, but you might have the knowledge now, but you've wasted your entire 20s seeing no progress because you dedicated that as your college tuition and learning phase. And trust me, guys, I went to college. I don't need to invest any more time into that. I need to do, and you guys need to do as well. So yes, we have a lifetime access pass. It's a membership token. It uses the actual blockchain, right? So it's not just like a website. It's blockchain level security to verify in real time whether or not you own a passport, and you can resell it because it's on the blockchain. Imagine a passport that lets you into a private society that taught you everything you need to know about how to run a perfect business. And it helped you do it too. And it gave you the money and funding to do it because we're going to fund companies. And then at the end of that, you can go ahead and sell that membership because it's probably going to go up in value because of how much value it has to offer over time. That is the vision that puts us apart and why you have to get into Altura now before we sell out of these passports, because we will not make another passport the same way. Those passports will get you into real world events. They will get you past the security guards on the sidewalk. When we host in-person events in Toronto, New York, Miami, LA, Denver, Colorado, Chicago, St. Louis, Sioux Falls, Dakota, right? Anywhere in your local hometown at some point. And they get you the answers. So again, I want you guys to act, not in the way you're doing. This tax is great. It's okay to pay the education of knowing what tools are out there. But if you feel lost, it's because you've over invested and you haven't gotten the return on investment you've expected yet. That happens to everybody. And I want you to know you're doing the right thing, but you can't keep doing it. You've made the mistake everyone made, but it's up to you to correct it because that's what determines if you win or lose. I'm inviting you to alturasociety.com. It's free. Sign up for free. Invest in a lifetime membership if you choose to, because it's going to go up in value as we grow it. The price is going to go up. We're going to purposely set the price higher because we're going to add value and utility in the back end to back it. The AI is going to get stronger. There's going to be more people in the community. Education is going to be more plentiful. Real world events are going to happen. And you better damn well hope you got one of those tokens. Link your account, earn cryptocurrency, which will be fully sent to you if you are active in our space. That is also what sets us apart, but I'm not going to talk about that now. And more importantly, cut the fucking bleed. Stop everything that's wasting your money. You need to tonight go into your bank account, go on Rocket Money. It's $6 a month. And link all your bank accounts and look at what your recurring subscriptions are. If you see things that just don't make sense, ask yourself, do you really need Netflix? Do you really need Hulu? HD Movies Today is a free website you guys can watch movies on if you really need to. But you shouldn't be, because you should be working. Take action. Cut the bleed because you have a virus. And this same poison has gotten injected into you that killed our last victim. The choice now is, are you going to let this poison kill you as well? Or are you going to fight back and make yourself stronger and prevent it from happening again in the future with the right people that know the warning signs? It's life or death, to be honest. As cringy and corny as that sounds, if you want to survive in a hard market where wolves are killing to eat every single night, And if you're not a wolf and you're not killing, you are a sheep. What are you going to be? What is the answer to all of this? And how are you going to take control? I hope to see you inside. And if you're not inside, I know you just aren't right for this. I'm sorry, but that's the honest truth. If you are, you've seen everything that I just said, and it makes perfect sense that you need a network before you continue to spend money on a business, because you can shift ideas. You can move into a new side hustle. It doesn't matter. But if you have the same network of people starting businesses, maybe somebody's doing stock trading, maybe somebody's in e-commerce, maybe somebody's a marketing agency guy. None of them give a shit if you move over from drop shipping to content creation or podcasting. They're just hustlers like you. And so this paying for a course, spending money to try to get one side hustle to work doesn't make sense until you surround yourself with people that have done a million things and ask them what they think is best for you. Ask Nova what your personality type is and how that can set you up. And then get the answers that will prevent you from failing again. If the devil hands you an apple that is poison and doesn't tell you, and you eat it and you die, that's the devil's fault because the apple was poison. But if the devil gives you a poison apple and tells you that it's poison, and you still go out and eat the apple, that is your fault. Shame on you. If I tell you that what you're doing, what you're spending money on, the hustles you're trying to make, that you're anxious to get money off the ground and get money in your bank account, you can't spend another dollar on anything else until I make money on this side hustle. And I got to stop putting money into stuff. I'm telling you the exact same thing. But I'm also giving you the solution. And I've told you that what you're doing isn't going to work until you're in a space with other people that want to be there and that care about everybody's success. And if you still go out and poison yourself by doing the same things or trying to figure it out by yourself, which I've done at least a dozen times in the last 5 years before I learned the hard way, then that is your fault. And you can come back to this podcast, but you will damn well know that you bear the guilt for this. So take action. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to invite you to something. Altura, Altura, society.com is the only place you should be going tonight. Typing in, signing up for an account. Because it's not ChatGPT. It's not a massive corporation that doesn't give a shit about your data. It's a private group of individuals who want to help you win because they're in the same boat themselves. And they know information that you might not know and vice versa. And when you put those puzzle pieces together, you beat the system that's been trying so hard to keep you down. I hope you guys have a great night, and I hope you take inspiration from this. I tell you the truth on these things, not because it's fun. I don't feel good telling you these things. It sucks. I've had to fail to get here. I wish I won every time, but it sucks. And I would rather you guys know that and know that I'm being honest and I want to help you than me just saying, start a business, you'll make $1 million. You just need to go on this website and that's it. Like half of these fucking 19-year-old rented Lambo curly hair kids do. That just doesn't work. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all of you. And I will see you on the website. I'll see you on the podcast Friday. And as I say every single time, guys, and I mean it. I really do mean it. I am rooting for you. None of this would have been built if I didn't care. If I didn't want to help people, if I haven't been the leader, if I didn't go to the Air Force Academy and put myself in a leadership position from day one, if I wasn't on student council and a football team captain in high school, because I give a shit about leading people to the end zone, literally and metaphorically, I want you guys to win. And I really hope you see that. Take care.